On August 26, 2026, the Trishuli River swelled and tore through communities across Rasua, Nuwakot, and Dading. In a matter of hours, flash floods and landslides stripped away the terraced fields that sustained thousands of families. The disaster also severed the primary relief arteries. The floodwaters severely damaged the Rasuagati and Girong border crossings, completely cutting off the critical trade corridor with China that would typically bring in emergency supplies. When external safety nets disappear, local food production has to resume immediately. But you can't rely on normal farming methods. You have to abandon planting for maximum harvest weight and prioritize absolute speed instead. To build a rapid response food system, you only need 4 baseline supplies: clean water, glass jars, untreated seeds, and shallow trays. By using a specific 30-day staggered planting framework, you can yield edible, nutritious food in just 72 hours. This process allows a community to quickly engineer their own survival while they wait for infrastructure to be rebuilt. The first phase of emergency agriculture is creating food without fields. If your ground is waterlogged or contaminated, you only need basic glass jars, a breathable cloth, and clean water. Your best options for this initial phase are untreated mung beans, known locally as mung, or basic lentils. By soaking these dried seeds in water overnight, you force a rapid biological response. The water causes the seeds to rapidly swell, cracking their outer skins and pushing out fresh green shoots. You need to be careful with your seed source. Legumes provided in standard emergency relief rations are often coated in chemical preservatives, which prevents them from sprouting. You need raw, untreated seeds. Once soaked, the maintenance cycle is simple but strict. You must drain the jars and rinse the seeds with fresh, clean water twice every single day to prevent mold. The speed of this method is its biggest advantage. Within 3 to 5 days, you have a harvest-ready, crunchy, protein-rich food source. This harvest relies entirely on the energy stored in the seed itself, making it completely independent of soil quality or direct sunlight. The second method in this first phase uses shallow, dinner plate-sized trays to cultivate microgreens. For this, take mustard or radish seeds and scatter them densely across the entire surface of the tray. They need very little to grow, just a thin layer of salvaged soil or even a continuously damp cloth placed beneath the seeds. Keep these trays in indirect light. Direct sun will quickly burn the fragile new shoots before they can establish roots. In 7 to 10 days, these shoots will reach a harvestable height of 2 to 3 inches. Snip them at the base to harvest. These specific microgreens provide dense doses of vitamins A and C, essential micronutrients that are almost entirely missing from standard dry grain relief distributions. These jar and tray harvests won't sustain a family indefinitely. Their purpose is to supply immediate nutrition and buy you the most precious resource in a crisis, time, so you can begin repairing the outdoor soil. Once you secure that immediate food source, you can move outdoors. Find a small patch of ground that you can clear of debris and ensure it is completely free of standing water. Here, you face your main environmental adversary, flood silt. As the water recedes, it leaves behind a thick, heavy layer of mud that dries into a highly compacted crust over the soil. To combat this, we rely on a specific root crop, the radish, known locally as mula. Radishes germinate quickly, but their real value is mechanical. As the thick, white taproot expands downward, it acts like a wedge, physically splintering and shattering that compacted gray crust. This underground expansion naturally aerates the ruined earth, breaking up the density so water and oxygen can flow again. You are essentially terraforming the ground to make it survivable for your next round of crops. While it works the soil, it also grows fast. You get a dense, caloric vegetable ready to pull in a rapid 25 to 30 days. In an emergency setting, the radish does double duty. It acts as both a short-term survival food and a biological drill to resurrect dead farmland. With the ground broken open, you can plant the final components of your immediate recovery garden: leafy greens like spinach or sog, and climbing cowpeas. When harvesting leafy greens in a crisis, people often pull the entire plant out of the dirt. This is a critical mistake that permanently destroys its future yield. Instead, use the cut-and-come-again method. Carefully clip only the mature, darker outer leaves, leaving the core intact. By selectively harvesting the exterior, the protected center expends energy growing new leaves. One round of seeds continuously regenerates food across weeks. Next to your greens, you plant the cowpea, or bodhi. These vines grow vertically up simple stakes, maximizing your cleared space, and produce edible pods in a fast 6 to 8 week window. But the cowpea's biggest advantage happens out of sight. Its specialized root nodes host bacteria that actively pull nitrogen gas out of the atmosphere. The plant deposits this extracted nitrogen directly into the surrounding dirt, chemically fertilizing the flood silt without commercial fertilizers. Together, these crops create a self-sustaining loop. They generate continuous, renewable calories above ground while actively repairing the chemistry of the earth below. When you combine these distinct methods, the result is a seamlessly staggered, overlapping production timeline. This chart maps out exactly how the staggered system unfolds. As you can see, you get protein-rich sprouts on day 3, vitamin-dense microgreens on day 7, high-calorie radishes by day 25, and a continuous supply of leafy greens starting around day 30. Emergency agriculture forces us to rethink our priorities. It trades the maximum volume of a traditional harvest for the strategic, immediate speed required to keep a family fed. Establishing these first 2 tiers buys you safety. Once your daily nutrition is secure, you have the breathing room to consult with local agricultural extension officers about planting months-long grain crops to rebuild your staple storage. This staggered framework acts as a bridge. It fills the critical gap between disaster and recovery, ensuring your community maintains a continuous supply of fresh food while the roads and trade routes are rebuilt.